Foreign language skills. Intermediate. Module 11. Addiction of modern teenagers to technological tools. 11.1.
Dad, can I have some money to buy a Game Boy?
Game Boy? Oh, those are too expensive.
No, they aren't. They're just $25. I've gotten $42 before, but Mom didn't let me buy one.
Well, let's look. Let's think of some ways so that, well, maybe we can come up with some ways that you can earn money.
Let's see, allowance.
Okay, well, allowance. So how much money can you make a week with allowance? What did Mom tell you?
She said that if you get your work done on time, you can get $1.25.
Okay, so if you get your work done, you get $1.25. Okay, and what are some other ways that you can earn a little bit more money?
Let's see. I could work for people.
Okay, well, maybe you can come up with some odd jobs. What are a couple of things that you could do to earn some money, maybe around here in the neighborhood? What about opening up a lemonade stand?
I can try that. That'll be fun.
Okay, what else could you do?
Most of the kids on our block like candy, so I can start one of those.
Okay, so maybe selling some candy. Yeah. And what else?
I could, take out the trash every day.
Well, I think you have some ideas. So I guess if you stay long enough, you'll be able to earn enough money to buy something you want. Sound good?
Like a Game Boy?
Something you need, let's say.
11.2.
Most of us have felt the exasperation of feeling helpless when our smartphone breaks. Phone manufacturers seem to go to extraordinary lengths to deter consumers from opening the back of their phones to try DIY repairs. Help is at hand. Fairphone is a new company that has produced a self-repairable mobile phone. The founder is Bas van Abel, a Dutch design engineer who set out to make the world's first ethical smartphone. He started his company in 2013 with 4 basic principles. First, he wanted to use raw materials from non-conflict mining areas. He also wanted to make a product that was recyclable, durable, and repairable. The new Fairphone embodies these aims. The Fairphone website outlines the philosophy that underpins the company. It says its mission is to motivate a massive industry to take responsibility for its impact on the world by establishing a viable market for ethical electronics. It highlights the fact that many workers who produce technology are working in unacceptable conditions. It also points out the staggering amount of waste the electronics industry generates. Finally, it says, communication technology is on track to account for 14% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions by 2040. The Fairphone comes with a screwdriver and is easily repairable. The plastic used is 40% recycled and the minerals are ethically sourced.
11.3.
During the 1980s and 1990s, personal computers became very widespread. The use of the computer has changed people's lifestyles in several ways. Before 1980, hardly anyone owned a computer. Only governments and large companies had computers. But throughout the 1980s and 1990s, computers became much cheaper, faster, and smaller, and they held much more memory. More and more people were able to afford to buy a computer. By the year 2000, computers had become very common. For many people, the personal computer is used mainly for performing calculations and for word processing. For example, people can calculate their finances on the computer. They can also use the computer to type their written documents, such as essays or letters. Many people enjoy playing games on their computers. Some people like to play chess or checkers on their computer. Other people prefer games that require fast reflexes and fine coordination. Computer games were very simple during the early days of the 1980s. Today's computer games show detailed images and sounds. Another very popular use of computers involves communication. Many people keep in touch with their friends and relatives by using electronic mail or email. Email allows people to send letters instantly to people far away. It is even possible to attach pictures to one's email messages. Many people also like to use their computer to gain information on the Internet. The Internet is a vast network of electronic pages where people can find information on many different topics. For example, people can read newspapers and magazines on the Internet. Personal computers have only existed for a short time, but for many people, those computers have quickly become a very useful part of everyday life.
11.4.
More than 4 billion people in the world use the Internet, and almost everyone agrees that its introduction in the 1980s was, overall, a very good thing. The Internet is a tool that we use in so many positive ways. We use it to play games, find new jobs, make new friends, learn new things, shop online, and much, much more. However, like most things in life, not everything about the Internet is good. Here are 5 bad things about the Internet. First, many people use the Internet far too much. It could even be argued that many people are addicted to it. In the United States, for instance, it is quite common for people to use the Internet as much as 24 hours each week, or about 3.4 hours each day. In Europe, meanwhile, many people say that the Internet is more important than watching TV, having a car, or even getting washed. I have to wonder, do people like this even have the time to use their brains? To think original thoughts? Second, many people use the Internet at work, not to just get their jobs done, but for personal use. But does checking your Facebook at work really decrease your work productivity? The research on this is mixed. Many studies report little negative impact, but one particular study reported, in 2016, that workers spend up to 32% of their work time checking their social media accounts. Third, Internet use may cause depression and anxiety. This may be due to the large amount of negative news online, as well as to the pressure that some people may feel when they compare their lives to the perceived lives of their social media connections. Fourth, anyone can go online and post information that they claim is true, but, when fact-checked, a lot of this information turns out to be untrue. This was a serious problem in many countries during the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, some Internet users are criminals who want to infect your computer with a virus for the purpose of stealing your bank account or credit card information. Or they may pretend to be someone who they aren't, with the intention of scamming you, or tricking you, into giving them lots of money. Knowing how the Internet can harm us is very important, because, with this information, we can take steps to minimize its negative effects.
11.5.
The sound of kids hanging out together. Or at least how it sounded a few years ago. Nowadays, a group of, well, just about anyone, kids, teens, tweens, their parents, might sound a lot more like this. Most of us spend hours a day with our heads bent over our smartphones. Research suggests teenagers spend as many as 9 hours a day, while preteens spend up to 6.
I don't know, it's like the first thing I do in the morning, check in and see who's posted anything overnight. It's my alarm clock, so I kind of have to look at it, and then, it's pretty hard not to scroll through.
And it's not just teenagers and millennials. Generation X and even the baby boomers are almost as bad.
I'm online most of the day for work, and you'd think I'd be sick of screens by the time I get home, but most of my news comes through Facebook. And I'm really into food, so I'll hold my hands up to being one of those people who post photos of their meals.
But are we addicted to our phones and apps? And does it matter? Former Google and Facebook employees certainly think so. So they've set up a non-profit organisation, the Centre for Humane Technology, to reverse the digital attention crisis and promote safe technology for children.
Anyone who's seen queues round the block for the latest iPhone has to wonder what these people are thinking. You've literally got people sleeping in the street to get the newest device. Probably not even talking to anyone else in the queue because they're on social media, taking selfies in the queue to post to Instagram. If that's not addiction, it's certainly obsession.
A more formal definition of addiction describes it as a repeated involvement with an activity, despite the harm it causes. Someone with an addiction has cravings, that feeling that you haven't checked your phone for 2 minutes and can't relax until you get your hands on it again. They may have a lack of self-control and not realize their behavior is causing problems, like texting while cycling or falling off a cliff taking a selfie. And in case you're wondering, I read about both of those via the news app on my phone, which updates every couple of minutes with the latest stories. Definitely addicted. So the Truth About Tech campaign by Common Sense Media and the Centre for Humane Technology couldn't come fast enough for most of us. But it's children who are probably most at risk because of the effect tech addiction might be having on their brain development. Professor Mary Michaels of the Atlanta Future Tech Institute has been working with very young children. Mary, thanks for dropping by. What is your research telling us?
Well, we know that screen time is affecting key aspects of healthy child development, like sleep, healthy eating, and what psychologists call serve and return moments, which are when parents respond to babies seeking assurance and connection by making eye contact, smiling or talking. All perfectly normal things we do and which help lay the foundations of babies' brains. It's much harder to engage with a baby normally if you're looking at your phone. Or even worse, if parents give a crying child a phone to distract them instead of talking to them or hugging them, and that might lead to them failing to develop their ability to regulate their own emotions.
And what about older children?
Again, we know that teenagers who spend a lot of time on social media are 56% more likely to report being unhappy and 27% more likely to suffer depression.
11.6.
During the 20th century, there were great improvements in engineering technology. These new developments allowed the construction of many amazing tunnels, bridges, towers, and office buildings. For centuries, people had dreamed about the possibility of connecting the island of Great Britain to the mainland of Europe. However, it was only in 1994 that such a link was completed when a tunnel was dug under the English Channel between England and France. The Channel Tunnel, also known as the Channel, actually consists of 3 separate railway tunnels. These tunnels are about 50 kilometers long. They are located about 150 meters below the bottom of the sea. Obviously, this was an extremely challenging project to undertake. As a result of the tunnel, it is now possible to travel between London and Paris by train. And the trip takes only 3 hours, of which only 20 minutes are spent inside the tunnel. A suspension bridge is a bridge that is supported by strong wires that hang from tall towers. The world's longest suspension bridge is the Akashi Kaiko Bridge near the city of Kobe, Japan. This bridge is nearly 4 kilometers long, and the 2 towers near the middle of the bridge are about 2 kilometers apart. It took almost 20 years to design this bridge and 10 years to build it. This bridge was designed to withstand extremely strong winds because Japan often experiences windstorms called typhoons. The bridge was also designed to withstand powerful earthquakes, which sometimes hit Japan. At the beginning of the 21st century, the world's tallest freestanding tower was the Canadian National Tower, or the CN Tower. The CN Tower is 553 meters tall. It is located in the city of Toronto, within the Canadian province of Ontario. This structure was built in 1975 as a television and radio tower.
11.7.
Google Maps has lots of useful features. It plans routes and provides real-time directions. It also gives traffic information, restaurant reviews, and lots more. Its latest tool is its Air Quality Index, AQI. Before going on a picnic, camping trip or hike, you can check the air quality. Google said we can check conditions like whether it's unusually smoggy. It is a measure of how healthy or unhealthy the air is. The new air quality feature is on the Layers icon on Google Maps. This is where the satellite and street views are. Google said, "We collaborate closely with partners in the weather and air quality space to provide helpful and authoritative information. We hope these tools help you feel safe and informed." The AQI also provides updated information on the health impact of air quality. In addition, there is a Wildfires Near Me feature to advise people on fires.